Om.
Om
Om.
Tada
Shiva Sama
Samaramam
Karam
Sankaracharya Madhyama
Asmada
Asmadacharya Paryanta
Vande
Vande Guru Paramparam
Om
Om Sahana Vavatu
Ahana
Sahana Bhunaktu Sah
Yam
Veeryam Karvavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
Avadhitamavit Ishavahai
विद्विषावहै
Om
ॐ
Shanti
शान्ति
Shanti
शान्तिः
Harihi Om
हरि ओम्
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari
हरि
Om Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. So we were in the middle of explaining 17th verse of second chapter. Little explanation is left out. We'll continue with that now. So what is the verse?
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The
Please,
Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
some disturbance is there. You have to mute yourself. Okay. So Avinashi tu tadviddi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit arhati. So know that by which this entire world is pervaded, to be indeed indestructible. No one can bring about the destruction of the one that does not change. So Krishna was saying that Bhishma Pitamaha is nothing but Atma, and Dronacharya is also Atma. Atma is there. You are not going to destroy anything because Atma cannot be destroyed. It is eternal. So why are you crying? Why are you in sorrow? Then Sri Krishna adds another feature of Atma. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Tatam means pervading, vyaptam. Krishna says this whole creation is pervaded by this Atma. Not only Atma is eternal, Nitya hai, Atma is also all pervading. Idam tatam. Like space pervades everything, Atma is also all pervading. So if Atma is all pervading, how many Atmas must be there? Anyone?
Just one.
Just one. Just like one space is there. Okay. Space is not many. Space can never be divided. Similarly, only one Atma is there. Okay. It is in you. It is in a me. It is in an animal. It is in a plant. Okay. It is in Ishvara also, the God. Bodies are many, but the Atma is only one. Let us take the example of space. Normally, when we explain Atma, examples of space and light are given, even though they are not Atma, but close to the nature. So let us take the example of space. So you are sitting in your house, maybe in the hall or maybe in the bedroom or in the study room. Okay. So if you have 4 rooms, let us say you have a hall, you have 3 bedrooms, then you have a kitchen, then you have washrooms. So how many spaces are there? Hall space, room space, kitchen space, washroom space. Everything is different, but space is only one. Okay, we don't count the spaces. I have so much space. That's all. Okay, space is only one. Suppose you live in a society, independent houses. If there are 50 houses, can we say 50 spaces exist? No, space is only one. If you live in an apartment building, and the building has say 10 floors. Each house has 4 apartments, each floor. Then 40 apartments are there. Can we say that 40 space is there? Spaces are 40? No, space is only one. Space is only one. Okay, suppose we demolish that building and make it a 20 floors. Okay, 20 floor building. Then the houses will go 20 into 4, 80. 80 apartments will be there, but the space is one. Whether the house is there or whether the house is not there, space is always there. So we don't count the spaces. We count the houses, we count the buildings, but we don't count the space. So similarly, anatmas are many, uncounted. These bodies are many and they are counted, but atma is only one, eka. That is the reason we say that Ishvara is in everybody's heart, that God is in everybody's heart. So when we say God is in everybody's heart, in what form Ishvara exists? In the form of Atma. Okay. So Ishvara is present in every form. Ishvara is present in you, in me, and in an animal, in a plant. Everywhere it is. Ishvara is there. Okay. Ishvara is in every form. That is the reason we in Indian culture we do namaskaram to everyone. Okay. Because Atma is present there also. Ishvara is present there also. So in this body, in everybody's body, there is Atma. Okay. And that Atma is same in all, like space. Space exists in our house and space exists in the neighbor's house also. And space exists in the commercial building also. Everywhere space exists. Space is the same. It is only one. If we can call it one. Okay. It is formless, limitless. Okay. So in this body, in our bodies, there is this Atma. It is same in everyone, in all, which is the Ishvara Swarupam. So when we do Namaskaram to someone, we do Namaskaram to that Ishvara Swarupam. It can be an ant, a cow, or a goat, whatever it is. Okay, that also we can do Namaskaram, and we do in our culture. We worship tree, we worship water, rivers, we worship even stone, because we recognize this fact, we accept this fact that Ishvara is present in everything. The containers may be different, they are different, but the content is the same. And what is the content? That is the Atma. And that Atma is only one, and it is the same in everyone. So Atma is Nityaha, eternal. Atma is Satyaha, real. And Atma is Sarvagataha, all pervading. Eternal means not bound by time. It was there in the past, it is there in the present, and it will be there in the future also. All pervading means it is not limited by space. Just like it is not bound by time, it is also not limited by bound by space, which means it is here, it is there, and it is everywhere. Therefore, Sri Krishna says, Avinashi tu tadviddi yena sarvam idam titam. Idam tatam. Arjuna, you understand that everything is pervaded by the Atma. And all pervading thing has to be a formless thing. Just like space has no form and it pervades everything. Light also is formless and it pervades everything. Anything limited is limited because of its boundaries only. So the form of a thing, the limitation of a thing is determined by the boundary. The shape depends upon the boundary. Suppose we have a hall, we say it is rectangular or square depending upon the boundary. Whether it is 10 by 10, if it is 10 by 10 or 20 by 20, we call it square. If it is 20 by 10 or 20 by 15, then we call it rectangular. So if a thing does not have boundary, the limiting walls are not there, then it becomes boundless. It becomes limitless. So if the limiting walls are not there, it will not have any particular shape. It has to be formless. Formless. There is no form. Therefore, Krishna Bhagavan says Atma is all pervading, and therefore Atma is formless or shapeless. Then what will happen to the Atma when this body, the Anatma, is destroyed? What will happen to the space when the hall is destroyed or the house is destroyed? When we demolish a building, what happens to the space? Space was always there even before the building was constructed, and space will exist even after the building is demolished. Okay. So the house or building is destroyed, but the space will continue to exist. Okay. Similarly, Atma will continue to exist even after the destruction of this body. Only thing is, it is not available for transaction. If you remember the 5 principles of consciousness, what is the last one? Anybody? Atma is not part, product, or property of the body. What is the 5th one?
Atma is eternal.
No, Atma will continue to exist after the destruction of this body, but it will not be available for transaction for want of a medium. Without a medium, Atma cannot transact. Just like electricity, if there is an instrument, a bulb or a fan, it will transact. If there is no fan, if there is no bulb, electricity is there, but it cannot do any transaction. That is understood?
Akarta and abhokta.
Karta Bhokta is there, but Atma cannot do any transaction without this body medium. Okay, it is there all the time, but it will not do any transaction, it cannot do any action, etc. So when the body is gone, Atma continues, but it is not available for transaction. And therefore, Sri Krishna says, Asya vinasham kartum na arhati. Nobody can destroy this Atma, even though the body can be destroyed. That is the explanation of this verse that completes the 17th verse. Any doubt you may ask.
No doubt, Acharya.
Okay, very good. Then we'll go to 18th verse. Please unmute yourself. We will chant. Antavanta ime dehaha.
Ante
Dehaha, not devaha. Antavanta ime dehaha.
Antavanta ime deha
Nityasyokta sharirinaha.
Nityashokta sharirinaha
Anashino premeyasya.
Anashito prameyasya
Asmadyudyasva bharata.
Tasmadusya
Bharata.
So Anvaya, Anasinaha, indestructible. Nasa means destructible. Anasinaha means indestructible. Aprameyasya, that which is not available as an object of knowledge. Aprameya. Nityasya, that which is not subject to change, eternal. Sharirinaha, embodied one, the self, Jivatma. Ime, these, dehaha, bodies, antavantaha, subject to end. Uktaha, or said, tasmat, therefore, Bharata, descendant of Bharata Arjuna, Yudhyasva, fight. These bodies of the embodied one, the self, Jivatma, which is not subject to change and destruction, and which is not available as an object of knowledge, are said to be subject to end. Therefore, Bharata, Arjuna, get up and fight. That is what Krishna says. So, let us explain this verse. Nityasya sariranaha anashinaha. Atma is nityaha. That we learned earlier in the previous verses also. It is eternal. And Atma is anashinaha. It cannot be destroyed by any means. Sharirinaha. Sharira means what? A body. Shariri means that which is within the body. Therefore, the Atma is Sariri because it is inside the Shariram. It is called Sariri, within the body. And when we say within the body, it has to be understood properly because in the previous verse, what Krishna had said, Atma is all pervading. When we say it is all pervading, how can we say it is within the body? Let us take the example of space again. Just like the space is all pervading, and it is within your hall also, it is within your room also, it is in the kitchen also. So space within the hall is called the hall space. Space within the kitchen is called the kitchen space. Space within the washroom is called washroom space. In the same manner, the Atma within the body is called Sariri. Sariri is the name for the all-pervading Atma, which is within the body. Also, we should remember that it is present everywhere. So, this is the nature of Atma or feature of Atma. And what is the nature of Anatma? It is ime deha antavantah. The bodies are all subject to end. They are all perishable. Anta means death, maranam. Antavantaha, the bodies are subject to death. They are mortal. Therefore, as Atma, you are immortal. As body, you are mortal. And therefore, what is the wisest thing to do? You have to accept that Atma is real. We have to accept that Atma as it is. We have to accept Atma as it is. And we have to accept the body as it is. Atma is eternal and body is mortal. Atma is immortal and body is mortal. We have to accept this. That is the wisest thing to do. Because that is a fact. So, we should never complain against the mortality of the body. So, we should gracefully accept the mortality of the body. He says you should never complain. Arjuna, you should never complain against the mortality of the body. You should gracefully accept the fact, whether it is Bhishma's body or Drona's body or Karna's body or your own mother Kunti Devi's body. Okay. So even Krishna's body cannot be there eternally. It was also subject to mortality. So body will come and go. It's nature. Therefore, Arjuna, you accept these facts. Now, Sri Krishna adds another important point in this sloka, and that is Aprameya. Atma is aprameya, an important feature of Atma. Prameya means object of knowledge. Aprameya means never an object of knowledge. So aprameya can never be an object of knowledge. It is always a subject and it is never an object. Therefore, you can never know the Atma. If we can never know the Atma, a question may arise that it may be non-existent. If I cannot know the Atma, how can I believe that it is existing? It may be non-existent. So, what is that which is ever existent but which can never be seen? So, let us take the example of a photograph. We see everything in a photo, in a frame, in a picture. People are there, things are there, chairs are there. No, so many things must be there. But one thing is not there. What is that?
Camera.
Very good. Camera, which was very much present at that time, but it is not seen. Do we require any proof that camera was existing? Can anybody said that the camera was not there? No. We don't require proof for the existence of camera. It was very much there, but it cannot be seen in the picture. Similarly, it will never come in the field of our experience. We cannot see the camera and we cannot experience, but its existence can never be questioned. Okay, and the camera, in this case, Atma is called the observer, the experiencer, the consciousness principle. And therefore, Atma is called Aprameya, ever the experiencer and never the experienced. It experiences, but it is not, it is never experienced. So, ever the experiencer, never the experienced. It is ever the drik, never the drishyam. Drik means seer, drishyam means seen. Ever the seer, but not the seen. Ever the subject, never the object. We can see everything. We have two eyes. We can see everything except what? Our own eyes. We can never see our own eyes. So you may say, I can look into a mirror and see. What you are seeing is reflected eyes, not the original eyes. So eyes may be powerful, however powerful, it can never see the original eyes. However powerful the eyes are, they cannot see themselves. Similarly, consciousness, Chaitanyam, Chetanam or Atma is eternal subject. It is never Prameya. It is always Aprameya. So Aprameya Atma. Tasmad Yujyasva Bharata. Therefore, Arjuna, Bharata, you are not killing Bhishma. You are not killing Drona. You are not killing anyone because Atma is not an object of destruction. Atma is Nityaha. Atma is Satyaha. Atma is Sarvagataha. Atma is Aprameya. In English, Atma is eternal. Atma is reality. Atma is all pervading. And Atma is never an object, but is ever the subject.
Doubt, Acharyaji. Like, we can't see our own eyes, but
Yes.
we can see another person's eyes.
Another
So-
person's eye, but our own eyes cannot be seen. So these
like
are all
in Atma-
examples. These are all examples. Every example has a limitation. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Every example has limitation. Only to explain, to make it easy to understand, we give examples. But we cannot take it 100% to compare it to everything. It is not possible.
No, I was wondering if it's possible to see Atma in an external world or something.
No, we cannot see.
Okay.
We cannot see space.
Right. Hmm.
Whether it is your house, it is your neighbor's house, or your relative's house, you cannot see the space.
Yes, understood.
And so electricity example we give. Electricity presence, how do you experience? You put on the switch on the fan or light. Suppose both fan and light are not working, then you cannot know. That time, if you give this example, and if someone says, I can put my finger in the plug, and if I get a shock, that I will know electricity is there. So these examples have limitations. Okay.
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay. Then 19th verse. Please unmute yourself. We will chant. ये येनं वेत्ति हन्तारम्
येनं वेत्ति हन्तारम्
यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम्
यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम्
हतं
उभौ त न विजानीतः
उभौ त न
भूतेन
विजानीतः
विजानीतः
नायं हन्ति न हन्यते
नायं
नायं
हन्ति न
हन्ति न
हन्यते
हन्यते
ये येनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते. Anvaya, we'll see word by word. Yah, the one who, yenam, this self, the self. Antaram, killer. Veti, a things. Cha means and. Yaha means the one who. Yenam, the self. Hatam means killed. Manyate, things. Ubau tau, they both na vijanitaha, they do not know. I am, this self, na hanti, does not kill, na anyate, it is not killed. It neither kills nor gets killed. The one who thinks the self to be the killer, the Atma to be the killer, and the one who thinks of it as the killed, both do not know. This self does not kill, nor is it killed. So these verse and the next verse, they are borrowed from Kathopanishad. You must have heard the name Kathopanishad. Words are little different, but the meaning is they is same. In this verse, Sri Krishna says Atma is Akarta and Abhokta. Atma is Akarta. It does not do any action. Atma is not a doer because Atma is not subject of an action. Abhokta means Atma is not an object of any action also. It does not get involved in any action, does not take part in any action. So let's take the example of space again. The space accommodates all of us. Without space, we cannot be in this world or in our houses. But space is not involved in any of our action. It never participates in any action. Okay? We do so many actions in the house. We cook, we sleep, we study, we are attending classes. Can we say that space is involved? Space is involved? It doesn't do anything. In the space, we do many actions. So it never participates in any action. But without that space, without that akashavat, no action is possible. If we don't have space, we cannot do any action. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So space never participates in any action. But without space, no action is possible. Another example also we can take, that is Prakasavat, light. In the presence of sunlight, many transactions are going on. So if we remove the light, if there is no light, can you do any transaction? No, we need light. So again, the examples have limitations. In order to make us understand, these examples are given. Just like space, just like light, Atma's presence is required for all transactions. But Atma itself is not involved in any transaction. Atma is uninvolved. Akarta and Abhokta. Atma is Akarta means Atma does not do any job, any action. Any job means it does not kill anyone. And Atma is not a Bhokta. It is Abhokta means Atma is not killed by anyone. So Atma is neither a killer of anyone and Atma is not killed by anyone. Sri Krishna says that if a person says Atma is the killer and Atma is killed, that person is an ignorant person. If a person says Atma is a killer or killed, that person is wrong. Because Atma is neither a killer nor killed. Yaveti hantaram. If a person thinks Atma is killer means what? Karta, doer of action. Yaschainam manyate hatam. And if a person thinks Atma is killed, then it becomes a bhokta. Then both persons do not know the fact that what is that? Ubhautana vijanita. Both of them do not know the fact and both of them are wrong. Atma never kills anyone. I am Atma na hanti. Atma can never kill anyone. So space, can space destroy anyone?
No.
This world is made of Panchabhuta, 5 elements. Out of that 5 elements, Vayu, air can kill, air can destroy. Agni, the fire can destroy. Jalam, the water can destroy. And Prithvi, also earth, can destroy by way of earthquake, etc. But if there is one element which cannot destroy anyone, that is the Akasha, that is the space. Similarly, Atma accommodates all, but does not and it cannot destroy anyone. So I am means Atma. Na hanti does not kill. Na hanyate is not killed also. That is the meaning of this verse. Fairly easy to understand because we have discussed in detail in the previous verses. Atma is Akarta and Abhokta. Any questions?
No, Acharya ji.
So somebody has put a question in the chat box. Kindly expand on the metaphor.
आचार्य जी,
Yes.
I mean, कृष्ण भगवान का शरीर अध्यस्त है या अनध्यस्त है, वैसी जो चर्चा कर रहे हैं, तो can you throw some light on that subject?
It will all be explained in the coming verses.
Okay.
We'll discuss in detail. This is only the beginning now. We are only in the 19th verse. So after completion of 25, 30 verses, if you still have the doubt, you may please ask.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Somebody has asked object of what is the object of experience? See, Atma is always the subject. It is never an object. When we say object of knowledge, there should be a knower. Okay. There should be a object to be known. Okay. For example, you are the subject, and what is the object? Study of scriptures, and that is done through a process called what, teaching and listening. Okay. So you are there, subject, and object is there, shastram, and there is a process. Okay. But Atma is not an object which we can be known, because it is the very you, it is the very subject. And subject can never be the object. Okay. Object is something outside you, which you have to know. But here, there is no object. It is only the subject, because you is Atma. When I say I am the Atma. So I need not know myself. I cannot know myself because it is the subject. There is no object to learn or object to know. Okay, that is why it is called aprameya. It cannot be known, it cannot be experienced. At an advanced level, we will be seeing if it is not possible to know the Atma, if it is not possible to experience the Atma, how do we realize the self? How do we get self-knowledge? That is all will be coming in the future verses. And when we study Upanishad and other advanced Shastram, we'll understand. Because we have only this Anatma, we have only this mind, we have only these words. Otherwise, we have no other way of learning, knowing the Atma. How it is done, this all will be discussed much later. So is it clear, that question? Object of
Yeah, quite clear. Quite
Okay.
clear. I've got a fair idea now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Now, verse number 20. Please unmute yourself. So here the meter changes first time. From Anushtup Chanda to Trishtup Chanda, we have come. Now let's.
Acharya ji, you didn't explain that Anushtuk Chanda and Prishtuk
Yeah,
Chanda.
I told you I will explain, but I'm very sorry that I have not done that. So
Yeah.
every sloka you see here, for example, 19th verse, there are 4 pada. Enam Vetti Hantaram is 1 pada. Okay. First, Yaschainam Manyate Hatam is another pada. Bhautavna Vijanitaha is 3rd pada. And 4th pada is Nayam Hantina Hanyate. That is how we chant. So there are 4 pada. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 pada in the first line and 2 pada in the second line. And each pada has got 8 letters. Okay. So 8 plus 8, here 8 plus 8. Total how much? How many?
16.
16 plus 16.
32.
32 letters are there.
32.
But if you count, you cannot count 8, you may sometimes count 10, or you may sometimes count 6. Because there are rules. Okay. There are rules how to count the letters. That is all Sanskrit grammar. We will not go into that. But general rule is Anushtup Chanda means each pada has 8 letters. So 4 padas are there, and there are 4 into 8, 32. So in the Trishtup Chanda, there are 4 pada, 1, 2, 3, 4 verse number. Okay. And each pada has got 11 letters. So 4 into 11,
44 and 88.
44. Only 44, no 88. So
Can
40,
you give an example of this? Which verse is in this chanda?
this Trishtup Chanda is this Najayat Emriyat. Now we will chant. So basic thing is 32 letters in Anushtup Chanda. There are 4 pada. Each pada contains 8 letters. And in Trishtup Chanda, 4 padas are there. Each pada contains 11 letters. 44. It is longer. Why Trishtup Chanda is used is whenever an important thing comes, something to be underlined, made significant, in order to emphasize the importance of that verse, they shift to this Trishtup Chanda. The chanting becomes different. So I will chant. Please follow. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित्
न जायते मृतायते वा कदाचित्
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
न्यायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः
अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न हन्यते हन्यमान शरीरे.
So everyone should chant. That is how you get practice, no? You can, don't worry, you can unmute and chant. So, najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va anabhoyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranah na hanyate anyamane sharir. You must observe that for chanting also, this is very beautiful. It sounds much better. It is just beautiful. So, let us go to Anvaya. I am means this. Kadachit ever. Na jayate. It is never born. It is not born. Va means or. Na mriyate. It does not die. Bhutva. Having been. Na abhavita. It does not cease to be. Bhuyaha means again. Ajaha. Unborn. Nityaha. Eternal. Shashvataha, that which undergoes no change, which is changeless. Puranaha, never old, ever new. Sharire hanyamane, when the body is destroyed, I am this nahanyate, it is not destroyed. The self is never born, nor does it die. It is not that having been, it ceases to exist again. It is unborn, eternal, it undergoes no change whatsoever and is ever new, never old. When the body is destroyed, the self is not destroyed. Now let us understand this. This is one of the very most important philosophical verse. Okay. And in order to highlight its importance, the meter of the verse is changed from Anshtup to Trishtup. The importance is shown here. What is that importance? The essence of this verse is that Atma is free from all modifications, all changes. Nirvikaraha Atma. Vikaraha means change. Nir means free from. So Nirvikaraha means free from change. And what is the change is Vikaraha, modification. In Tattva Bodha we have studied, there are the changes are 6 types. Anybody can tell me? The body is subject to, Anatma is subject to 6 changes. For example, Asti.
Birth,
Forgotten?
birth,
Asti,
growth,
Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshyate, okay, Vinashyati. So what is that? Asti is existence in seed form, our existence in the fetus, womb of the mother. Jayate, then we take birth, this body is born. Vardate, then the body grows. Viparinimate, and the body undergoes changes. Apakshyate, it starts decaying because of old age. And finally, vinashyati, it perishes. So these are the 6 modifications that everybody has to go through. Everyone's body has to go through. Asti, jayate, vardate, parinamate, apakshyate, and vinashyati. Sri Krishna says Atma is free from all these 6 modifications. It is not born, it does not grow, it does not decay, or it does not die. That is the essence. So let us look at this sloka. Na jayate. Atma is never born. Birth belongs to what? Sukshma shariram, subtle body, and not the Atma. Na mriyate. Okay. Here it is not mentioned na jayate na mriyate, but when we read, when we understand, we should read as na jayate na mriyate. Even though one na is mentioned, there are actually 2 nas are implied. Na mriyate na jayate. So na jayate na mriyate. Atma does not die. Kadachit. It is never born and it never dies. Kadachit means any time, at any time. I am na bhutva. Because it never comes into existence at a particular time. It always existed, it exists now, and it will always exist. It is unborn because it never comes into existence at a particular time that we mentioned. Okay. And na bhavita. It never stops to exist. It never ceases to exist at a future time. There will be no time where it will be non-existent. There was never a time it was non-existent. That means Atma never begins its existence and it never ends its existence. And therefore, Ajaha. Ajaha means birthless. And Atma is Nityaha. Nityaha means eternal, deathless. So Ajaha means birthless and Nityaha means deathless. Then Shashvataha, that does not undergo any change whatsoever. It is free from decay. It is Apakshya Rahita. It does not get old. And Puranaha, it does not grow old. Vriddhi Rahita means it does not grow old. All the 4 modifications we have mentioned, Janma Rahita, Vriddhi Rahita, Apakshya Rahita, and Vinasha Rahita. All these are not there. Not only that, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body is afflicted by diseases, the body becomes unfit, unhealthy because of diseases. Different diseases affect the body in different forms. Therefore, when the body is hanyate, hanyate means afflicted, affected by diseases. Na hanyate, the Atma does not become unfit or unhealthy because Atma is unaffected by anything. It is not affected by anything. Therefore, Atma is free from Parinama. It is free from Parinama or change. Parinama means change. And that is why Atma is called Nirvikaraha. Changeless. It does not undergo any change whatsoever. So, what are the features that we have seen? Atma is Nityaha, eternal. Atma is Satyaha, real, reality. Atma is Sarvagataha, It is all pervading. Aprameya, it is never known. It is always the knower, ever the knower, not the known. It is akarta, Atma is akarta, not a doer. It does not do any action. And Atma is abhokta, not an enjoyer of any action. And nirvikaraha, it's free from all modifications. These are the 7 features of Atma that we have seen so far. So that is the explanation for this verse. Very, very, very important verse. Any doubt you may please ask. Anything related to this or in general also you can ask. Related to previous verses or whatever we have learned so far. Okay. If there are no doubts, then we will chant the next verse.
There was one thing you talked about FIT, frequency.
FIR or FIT, yeah.
That one, how do you know it's, I mean, how do you make it get better?
So there is one way I mentioned that you make a note of it. So at the end of the day, you spend some few minutes, okay, and you note down. So from morning, how many times I got angry, or how many times I got jealous, how many times I got upset, okay.
More than on a daily basis, let's say sometimes something happens, then how the duration it affects is longer. So how do you shorten it?
That means you are yet to improve spiritually. So when we mature spiritually, slowly this frequency goes down. The time also, duration also goes. You may get angry, but it will last for hours. It will last only for few seconds or few minutes. That means you have progressed spiritually. That is how you measure yourself. So you don't have to share this with anyone. You store it in Excel with a password, or you keep a note of diary somewhere. No, just you see 1 month back how I was, and now how I am. So when you mature spiritually, as you learn the Shastram, as you do that Shravanam, Mananam, etc., slowly change will take place. Even though our nature is predominant, how we are made up Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic, but things change, the ratio changes, the proportion changes. Like we give the example of Valmiki. Valmiki was a dacoit. Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, I don't know if it's inappropriate. So it changed drastically for you also over the years?
Of course, it changes.
Okay, okay.
Of course, it changes. When we become jnani, when we become self-realized soul, the entire thing is completely changed. It is not that I will not become angry, but the frequency will be less and the intensity will be less and the duration also will become less. That is the sign of progress. And changes take place undoubtedly, because I have experienced, my Guruji has experienced. So they all evolve, we all evolve. And scriptures, this Ravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, they help a lot. They help a lot, because when something unfavorable happens, something does not go according to your expectations, desires, then what happens? We accept the fact that I have to go through this experience. I have to go through this pain. I have to go through this sorrow because of my karma. The person or situation which caused it is only a means, a tool through which I have to experience. If I have not experienced pain through this person, I would have experienced it from someone else. So instead of blaming the person, we start accepting it. It is my own karma. It is my own karma which makes me to experience this pain or pleasure. So when this kind of understanding, when this kind of acceptance comes, then your outlook totally changes. Your attitude changes. Then you become much more calmer, much more composed, much more balanced. So you develop this shock absorber. You can absorb. You become mature. You evolve. Okay.
Thank you, Acharya.
So we don't, we are almost up, time is up. So 21st verse, we will chant next time. It is in Anushtup Chand again. So that we will do it in the next class. So if there are no doubts, we'll say the prayers, closing prayers, and close the class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukhabhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityutma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you all
Thank you,
for listening.
Nandagopal. Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you.